Hey, it's Chris Allen, and I wanted to give you a 270 weather update here on this Sunday evening. It is the 26th of July. Thanks for tuning in. We currently have a severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect until midnight for all of the 270, pretty much all the 270. I mean, there's some of the eastern counties are not under this, but as you can see, we've already got some activity underway. And this severe thunderstorm watch, as I mentioned, is going to go until midnight. And you can see the counties here in southern Kentucky: Allen, Barron, Breckenridge, Butler, Christian, Edmondson, Grayson, Hopkins, Logan, McLean, Monroe, Muhlenberg, Ohio, Simpson, Todd, Warren, all of us under that severe thunderstorm watch. Severe thunderstorm watch. So, what's going on right now is all of this very heavy rain and a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings that are out right now. This one is showing the possibility of 70-mile-per-hour winds. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for parts of southern Henderson, northeastern Crittenden, northwestern McLean, northeastern Hopkins, and then all of Union and Webster counties. That is until 7 p.m. So just a few more minutes. Severe thunderstorms from Seabury to about Clay, Kentucky, moving southeast at 45, up to 70-mile-per-hour wind gust and penny-size hail is possible with these thunderstorms. So you're looking at that cluster right there. I'll stop the motion so you can see the very latest. Let me pull it up right there to now. And I'm telling you, this area I've been watching grow from hardly anything to this big, big, long cluster of thunderstorms. And this is really packing some wind. So right now, places like Utica and Owensboro down to Whitesville, and then Seabury, as I mentioned, down to Slaughters and headed toward Sacramento and Bremen and Central City and Hartford and Providence. Yeah, this whole big complex is about to wreak havoc with very, very strong winds and some really heavy rain. Not only that, but I want you to look at the lightning that is associated. Look at all that. I mean, that is right now, looking at what this is showing me, the lightning count just within this view right here is at 4,300 strikes. All of this, wherever you see lightning within this view, right in there, that's 4,300 lightning strikes. A big, big, big electrical storm full of wind, full of very heavy rain, and it continues its path off to the south and east. And it is continuing to really just make some noise and cause some big problems. So far, this activity has not reached places like Central City or Greenville or Madisonville or Morgantown. Hartford's getting a few thunderstorms right now, so is Beaver Dam, but this is kind of out ahead of the main system. But look at all the warnings now. Not just that one I just showed you, but there's one behind it and a couple of more now developing on this edge, the western edge of the big thunderstorm complex. We call this an MCS, Mesoscale convective system. In other words, it's a big blob of rain and wind and lightning, and it's headed, as you can see, it is headed for Morgantown, Bowling Green, Central City, Greenville, Dunmore, Lewisburg. It's eventually going to hit places like Dawson Springs, Nortonville, on down toward Crofton, Hopkinsville. So therefore, the severe thunderstorm watch goes all the way to the Tennessee border and stops, but it could be extended. Now, here's the thing that I want you to know is that, yes, this was expected, but to have this much activity this early from what the models were showing us is a little bit off. The models were showing us that whatever was going to come in tonight was going to be more late night. But here's the thing. We could have another one of these MCS complexes roll in behind this one during the overnight hours. And that's what we're concerned about, that this could just keep on rolling for a while. And even just at different times throughout the night, some of this could cause, some power outages. Certainly, this is going to be one of those kind of storms that makes a lot of noise for sure. And so we just need you to know that this is rolling through. Now, the tornado threat is rather low, but as we've seen lately, can't say zero. But if something was going to happen, it would be on the leading edge of that complex. And so far, we've not had any tornado warnings or anything that would indicate that. I'm going to switch over for a moment to a different source and show you this is the HRRR model, okay, that shows, at least in this view, that most of the thunderstorms are going to come in about 11 o'clock. Well, that's not the case. These are coming in, looks like a bit earlier than expected. And that is why we're seeing what we're seeing. But here's why I say we could have this come on through, and then back behind it, we could have more thunderstorms coming in even during the overnight hours, 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. So, some of this is still going to be pushing through even after this first wave gets through the area. So we could be, looking at an all night type of a situation if this continues to do what we see it doing at the moment. Now, there are a number of not only severe thunderstorm warnings, but also some flood warnings, or flood advisories, I should say. Flood advisories going up after the initial strong thunderstorms come through. But there's a lot of heavy rain that happens back behind it. And that's why we're keeping all of this right up there in the forecast. Going back to live radar. Okay, now this severe thunderstorm, flash flood warning. Okay. So some of these are turning into flash flood warnings. You see right there, that's Owensboro. So Owensboro is going under a flash flood warning because this is in central Davis County until 11. Heavy rain is being produced in the area. Between 2 and 3 inches of rain have already fallen. An additional 1 to 2 inches are possible in that same area. So we're talking about Davis County, the Owensboro area. That's who's getting flooded right now, right in there. So that's a flash flood warning. Look at all of that lightning. The lightning count is still running about 4,000 strikes within this view that you're looking at right here. Incredible amount of lightning. Now, how about we stop the motion, put it on the last image. Let's time this out as far as what we think possibly this could arrive. So if it's moving southeast at 45, say 50, or it's 50 miles from Bowling Green, just about 50 miles. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Let me get rid of that. Okay. So roughly 50 miles or so as the crow flies from Bowling Green. All right. If that's the case, zoom out because that's not a good view there. Turn that back on. So yeah, about 50 miles or so, moving off to the southeast. So if it's moving at 45, let's say 45 miles per hour, and it has 50 miles to go, about an hour, right at an hour is what we're looking at. So looks like if all of these hold together, and it does look like they're going to hold together, all of this would then be moving into much of the Morgantown, Lewisburg, Russellville, Bowling Green area within an hour. So about 8 o'clock, a little bit after 8 o'clock Central Time. That's what we're looking at right now. We get a new update, radar update, and now we're seeing that. Now, as you know, if you've been outside today at all, you know how humid, how sticky, how awfully humid it's been today. All of that moisture has just been sitting around. And so we've had the atmosphere capped off with a lid of warm air above us. And that has kept us from getting any thunderstorm activity until now. But what's happening is all of this is tapping into all the available moisture that's down here in southern Kentucky. And once it got going as just a little small area of thunderstorms way up here in parts of Illinois and Indiana, once it tapped into that, it started to grow and grow and grow. And now it's grown into what you see here, which is just this really, really large area of rain and thunderstorms that continue just to push off to the south and east, and is really trying to wreak a little havoc with potential damaging wind and intense lightning and very heavy rain, enough rain to cause flooding. So that is the concern, is that as this continues to move south and all the moisture that we still have just sitting down here in southern Kentucky, this could be the fuel that keeps this going. In fact, there is a new severe thunderstorm warning. You just saw it pop on. This severe thunderstorm warning is for Muhlenberg County, all of Muhlenberg County, northern Christian, northeastern Caldwell, southeastern McLean, Hopkins, all of Hopkins County, northern Todd County, and southern Webster County until 7:45. Severe thunderstorms located along a line 6 miles southwest of Livermore near Olney, moving south, as I said, at 45 miles per hour. The main hazard, potential 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Emergency management has said that these storms have produced widespread tree and power line damage in Henderson County. That's in the Henderson community, right on the Ohio River. Expect considerable tree damage. Also, damage is likely to mobile homes, roofs, and outbuildings. Included in this new severe thunderstorm warning, Hopkinsville, Madisonville, Central City, Providence, Dawson Springs, Calhoun, Earlington, Nortonville, Morton's Gap, Crofton, Powderly, Graham, Olney, Greenville, Weir, Dunmore, White Plains, Hanson, Drakesboro, and Sacramento. This is going to affect Interstate 69 between mile markers 88 and 129, the Western Kentucky Parkway between mile markers 39 and 64, and the Pennyrile Parkway between mile markers 11 and 34. Lots of territory that's being affected now by this new severe thunderstorm warning, as those storms now are making headway toward Greenville and Central City, and then eventually down toward Hopkinsville, and then on toward Elkton and Todd County, and soon, I would say, not that far away, possibly into Morgantown and Butler County, although you're not under a warning yet, and neither is Ohio County. The strongest part of the storm, it appears, is right in here. So as that storm is making its headway toward Sturgis and Dixon and Calhoun and now Madisonville, this is where the worst of the weather is occurring. And so that is the area to watch out for, because this is all headed your way. Now, again, some of the cause of all of this is a boundary. Switch sources for you again. Here's this boundary that is draped right across the Ohio River, down across Owensboro, south of Owensboro, and pushing right into southern Kentucky. Here's Bowling Green. We're at 87 degrees. We made it up to, I think, 90, 91, maybe 90, 91. Now where the thunderstorms are rolling through, the temperature is still really warm, mid to upper 80s. And then where the storms have come through, I mean, like Owensboro and that area, the temperatures have dropped to 75 after all the heavy rain that's still going on up there. You see up toward southern Illinois, Mount Vernon area, temperatures there have dropped to mid 70s. There's Henderson. which is now under that new severe thunderstorm warning. This is the new one right here with the possibility of 70-mile-per-hour winds. Damage threat is considerable. And by that, like I just read to you, if you happen to get the strongest of the winds out of this, and it's especially going to be on the leading edge here, right there, that's coming through Madisonville and just south of Calhoun and over toward Hartford and moving toward Beaver Dam. That's where this thing is arcing, kind of extending out. That's the winds coming out of these thunderstorms and out of this thunderstorm complex that is going to lead to the potential for damaging wind, as you see there. I mean, it's moving pretty fast, and it has just thousands and thousands of lightning strikes coming with it. Let's see what else we can find here. There are no cameras in that area, so it would be great if I could see some cameras. But let me tell you that if you're anywhere within the leading edge of this, which is like this, anywhere along that line right there, as it moves southward through Madisonville, and then it's going to come into Greenville and Central City, and then Hartford and Beaver Dam. If you're living along that line is north of you, or you're south of that line I just drew, get ready. You're about to be, I mean, really, really pounded with some incredible wind, blinding rainfall, and just really thousands of lightning strikes that will be hitting shortly. Now, will any of this fall apart or, maybe split up and fragment or lose some of its power by the time it gets to Bowling Green here within an hour and a half or so? With all the moisture sitting here, it's hard to say. I mean, we still have daylight. It's not after dark yet. There's still heated moisture here. There's still plenty of instability here. So I think a lot of this is going to hold together as it comes into Morgantown and Russellville and Hopkinsville and Franklin and Bowling Green and Litchfield and Brownsville. I mean, it's all headed your way, but this may not be the last of it. There could be another one of these big complexes coming in back behind it. Once this one comes through, there may be a short break followed by yet another one of these that comes in during the overnight hours. And I say that because of the modeling here, which, let me back up. As you can see, and this, let me make sure I've got a new model run. So this is showing this complex, and this looks like the complex that's coming through right now, but notice that the model is showing it's not supposed to arrive until 11 o'clock tonight. Well, I mean, it's 4 hours early. So the modeling is not doing a good job, and sometimes they don't do a good job of these complexes, because complexes like this can get started in any one location and just pick up all the juice, expend itself, fall apart, and then the outflows coming out of that system can start new thunderstorms. Any place, anytime. It doesn't have to be in the same exact place. I've seen these things build up and fall apart, and then behind it, here comes another one. And they're very, very difficult to predict. And that's why the modeling here is just a wee bit off by about 4 hours. I mean, what's coming through right now looks exactly like this, but it's about 4 hours. What's happening now? It's 4 hours early. So this particular HRRR model, short range model, is running about 4 hours. This is showing it too late, 4 hours too late. But what it does show, and the concern is as I run this forward into overnight tonight, it shows more activity coming in right back behind it. And so once what we see right now on radar could have this little short break, and then another big piece comes down behind it. Maybe, maybe not. It's hard to say, but this definitely shows another good swath coming in back behind it that would take us into tomorrow morning. The only way we can know for sure is to take a look and see what we can see here with the current radar. So what I can do is back this up, and I don't see, let me stop the motion, get the latest image, and wait for a sweep. Let me wait for a sweep to come by. There we go. So this is the radar outside of Evansville, north of Evansville, south of Mount Carmel, Illinois. Now, there is that right there. This would be along the Wabash River. There's another little cell that's trying to get going here. Let's see how it's developed. If it's, part of something else. These have all fallen apart. Yeah, it's built up. Okay, so that is the only piece behind the main area that's passing through that looks like it could develop into something else. The complex that's coming through right now started just like that, right there. It was just one little thing, and then it just kept growing and growing and growing. And that's the way these storm complexes do oftentimes. They just build from one cell, and with all of the available moisture that's just sitting here and been sitting here heated up all day long, it's just like boom, and it just takes off big time. There's a better look at it without the light. There's so many lightning strikes, over 4,000 lightning strikes. But here you can get a better view of what I'm talking about. This thing has nothing but wind. The winds are coming down out of this thing. Now Hartford and Beaver Dam is getting hit very hard with potentially 70-mile-per-hour winds. The winds are hitting Madisonville strong, about to hit Greenville and maybe Morgantown here shortly. And then they're spreading out towards Sturgis and Marion, Kentucky. It's just a huge blob of wind and rain and lightning. And right now, as of 7:20, it does not show signs of weakening at all. Let me put this into motion again. You can watch it. I mean, it's packing a punch for sure. This is a new severe thunderstorm warning, and they put a destructive tag on it. Details. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for Hardin, northeastern Pope, southeast, that's in Illinois, southeastern Saline County in southern Illinois, Gallatin County in southern Illinois, northern Crittenden County, western Kentucky, northwestern Livingston County in western Kentucky, and southwestern Union County, northwestern Kentucky until 8 o'clock. Severe thunderstorms located in a line from 6 miles northeast of Shawneetown to near Harrisburg, moving south at 45. These, and this is the National Weather Service, notice they've got the word destructive up here. Destructive. Maximum winds 80 miles per hour. These are destructive storms for Equality, Shawneetown, and the Garden of the Gods recreation area. For those of you up around Wabash River, Illinois, Indiana border, or Kentucky border, you know what I'm talking about. 80 mile per hour wind gust, flying debris, all kinds of problems with that. Locations: El Dorado, Sturgis, Shawneetown, Roseclair, Ridgeway, Golconda, Equality, Joy, Cave-in Rock, E-Town, Old Shawneetown, Junction, Carsville, Carver's Ridge, and Gross. Now, that Elizabethtown, that E-Town is not our E-Town, the one that's up Interstate 65. There is a town called Elizabethtown, which is on the Illinois-Kentucky border, close to it. So that's the one that it's talking about there. I wonder if I can find it on the map real quick to show you. There it is, right there. It's just south of the Shawnee National Forest. But it's right on the kind of the Illinois-Kentucky border. There's Cave-in Rock, Shawnee National Forest. You've got Sturgis, Shawneetown, Equality. Yeah. It's just this is just an interesting big complex of wind and rain and lightning. And it's, I mean, it's packing so much energy. Let me tell you this. Remember just a few minutes ago, I said the lightning count was around 4,500. The lightning count right now is over 8,000. 8,000 lightning strikes within this entire complex. Wow. Now, the initial severe thunderstorm warnings are because of the wind. The wind is what makes this a severe thunderstorm. Winds well over 60 miles per hour, possibly going 70 to 80,000, or 80,000, sorry, 80 miles per hour. So that's why these severe thunderstorms have been extended a little bit further south. And of course, you've got your severe thunderstorm warning now for Hartford and Beaver Dam, which is being indicated here, Central Ohio County until 7:45. from Masonville to near Calhoun, moving south at 35 miles per hour. Hartford, Beaver Dam, Centertown, McHenry, Rockport, Taffy, Jingo, Heflin, Pleasant Ridge, and Wysox, all in that severe thunderstorm warning until 7:45. Now, I can tell you that be ready, be ready. Morgantown, Bowling Green, Lewisburg, Greenville. I mean, it's almost to Greenville right now. Crofton, Hopkinsville, Elkton, Russellville. It's all coming your way. I mean, there's no way to miss this. Look at how it's moving in your direction in so many ways. It's just this big wall of wind and rain that keeps moving your direction. There's no way that it's going to miss you, is what I'm trying to say. All right. Yeah. Okay. Now, I know somebody's going to be saying, is this going to be like Tuesday was, last Tuesday? I don't think so, but I can tell you that this wind is going to be something that's going to be dangerous, and we're seeing it already. Eventually, all of this is just going to head toward the Tennessee border. Here is Carol. Is this a go to your safe place? Do I get my daughter in her wheelchair and go to the bathroom? Yeah, I would say yes. I mean, it's not a tornado, but the winds are strong enough to where everybody just needs to stay away from your outside doors, outside windows, get into someplace in the center of your home, lowest level, just in case. But yes, I would stay away from any kind of, this is going to be something that blows so hard that you're going to think, your house is going to fall in. I mean, it's going to feel like that for a few minutes. It really is. And it's going to be such a torrential rain and just rapid fire lightning that you're going to think, wow, what is happening here? And then just rain and rain and rain and rain until you get just enough rain to where your yard floods and your roads flood and all that. I mean, that's what's happening all very quickly. This is happening. So yes, I would get into a safe place for sure in your home. Again, not a tornado, just a big complex of storms racing through the area. Okay, as this runs, let me just check in with a few of you. Derek, could this be derecho? It's not quite big enough yet to be classified as derecho, but at this point, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it's called. It's just what you need to know is it's wind, it's rain, it's lightning, it's dangerous, it's destructive. Not a tornado, but it's just a huge storm it's packing just a ton of lightning. I'm looking at the counter, over 8 thousand lightning strikes that you're looking at right there, and just a wall of wind and rain. Marty, when is it going to affect the Bowling Green area? Give it about 30 minutes. Jeremy, if one of these MCSs lines up with us in the next couple of days, how much rain can they put down? Well, they can put down already. This one has put down some 2 to 3 inches of rain up along the Ohio River up toward Henderson and Owensboro. And they can produce that much rain in a very short amount of time. I'm just going through some of your comments. If anybody has anything to report, like up there where this is coming through right now, if some of you are getting it, let me know. Karen, how about covering BG and surrounding counties? That's what I'm doing. David, Michael Bratcher, looking at my radar, BG is in for this one. Okay, he's talking to someone else. I'm looking at the comments. Some of you are going, does he read the comments? Yes, I'm reading them right now. Somebody says, are we in the bubble? Okay. For all you bubble lovers out there, let's just draw one. Here we go. Oh, wait. Let's draw one right over Bowling Green. Okay. We're protected. Nothing to worry about. What? Isn't that what you want? I mean, there it is. There's your bubble. We should be fine. It should protect us. Nothing, as you can see, that's coming. It's not going to, that bubble's going to protect us. It's going to be come on, y'all. Oh, Lord, I get so tired of that. There's no bubble. It's coming for Bowling Green, Morgantown, Brownsville, Lewisburg, Russellville, Franklin, Scottsville, even Glasgow, Fountain Run, Tompkinsville. It's all coming your way. Give it another 30 to 45 minutes, maybe an hour down toward Tompkinsville. It's coming. I feel like I'm repeating myself. I thought I drew a pretty good bubble. You know, Scott did too. So, Devin, bubble Rockcastle Shores, Kentucky for me. Okay, I can put up a bubble there, for sure. Okay, now I'm starting to get some reports. This is getting close enough now that we're going to start getting some reports. So let me get to that. Megan, Russellville is hearing thunder already. Wow. And look how far away. Here's Russellville. And you're hearing thunder from this, which is, hold on. Oh, that's not right. Okay. No. Oh, here we go. Okay. Stop motion. Latest image. So if you're hearing thunder, you're right there. So there's a lightning strike. You just heard that. That was 8.5 miles away from you. not even associated with the main line. That's what you just heard. Interesting that that's happening. But wow. Here's Kimberly, Thunder and Lightning and Cromwell, Ohio Butler County line. Mm-hmm. Now Morgantown, you're about to get some of this. The leading edge coming into Morgantown. Sherry, looks like Butler County is going to be hit head on. You're correct. Madisonville, you're getting it right now, Tammy. Right now. Jane, lightning in Horse Branch. Yep. As you head north up toward close to Ohio County and that area, you're already getting it. Shane, Litchfield. Litchfield's not in it yet, but it's just off to your west, and it looks like you're going to be maybe the Caneyville area could be seeing something here shortly. Here's Tim, noticing the east and west edges are beginning to spread east and west a little more now. Yeah, it's spreading out. It's really beginning to spread out. Charles, a geologist told me Bowling Green sits in a bowl. Does that affect the weather pattern? Well, we do sit in a bowl, but a bowl is not a bubble. Now, with the bowl, kind of a indention, if you will, around Bowling Green, it does, you know, it does maybe affect some of the wind, especially winds along the ground, surface winds. But I don't think it really has that much of an effect. Here's the thing. Every town has a bubble. They claim every town has a bubble. Every town claims that they have this bubble where they don't get severe weather and it just bypasses them. It's, to me, it's, and I hate being a nerd about it, but there's really no such thing. Okay. There's really no such thing as a bubble. There's not a bubble that's going to protect anybody from anything. If you're in the path of this, you're going to get hit. And I know everybody likes to poke fun at it and, oh, the bubble's going to protect us and all that. But when you got something like this, that's just packing so much wind, and this is pushing out now further east, and this side of it is pushing out further west. And then right here in the middle, everything's coming due south. So the wind and the rain associated with this system is just it's like when you mash, let me see the best way to, like if you're rolling dough, like if you're mashing down dough on a table and you're rolling it out, it just spreads it and spreads it because you're wanting to get the dough as thin as you can to make as many biscuits or whatever you're going to make. And you spread out that dough and you just take that rolling pin and you're all different directions. You're pushing it out and you're spreading it out. That's exactly what's happening with the atmosphere right here. And it's just making this thing bigger and thinner and not really thinner, but it's just thinning out all of it in a way that is causing some big rain and lightning strikes, still about 8,000 that we're looking at. We'll go to, let me see if I can see something up. I'm looking at a couple of things here. I do not see. I think the Litchfield camera is down, so I don't have a way to see that camera. So there's no cameras within the area of the storms coming in that I can see. I'm just reading a few things here. Reading some of these backstory or back reports. Now, once this thing comes through, it's over for the time being. Unless we get some other development back behind it, which something could fall out of Iowa or Illinois up toward Chicago. I don't see a whole lot back there. It does look like once this complex comes through, this could be the end of it because the atmosphere will have been worked over enough here to where the atmosphere actually begins to stabilize. But that's a big question right now. So it looks like Hartford, Beaver Dam, now moving toward Caneyville. So you see Caneyville about to get some of that. So yes, it is. Rosine is getting it. Some of this is spreading a little further east and moving along the Parkway and Highway 62 toward Caneyville. So if you're in Caneyville, you should be able to look west right now and just see a very dark sky. Probably already hearing thunder. Morgantown, kind of on the edge. Most of it is to your north. And then Drakesboro, Beachmont, it's starting to impact you. Central City, Powderly, Greenville, coming through right now. This arc right here is one of the most intense. Nortonville to Dawson Springs to Crofton. That is just nothing but wind, rain, and intense lightning. And then we have this that I was mentioning earlier, Shawnee National Forest, and over in Illinois across the river, Cave-in Rock, Shawnee Town, those locations. It is moved through so quickly. It's like it comes through, blows through for about 5-10 minutes, just intent intense wind and rain, and then it starts to just quickly, um, not really fall apart, but as you can see behind it, it doesn't take long for this to just, well, it is. It falls apart right behind it. It spends so much energy all at once that there's not much left. And like right now, up toward, if you're traveling, say 41 or 41A, and you're going through Earlington, Madisonville, Hanson, Slaughters, I mean, it's over. You're still hearing lightning or still hearing thunder, but the rain and the wind is already over. It's that quick. It's just that quick. And that's why I say here further south, Hopkinsville and Lewisburg and Russellville and Bowling Green, Franklin, it's all coming very quickly. And it's going to be here and done within the next 15, 20, 30 minutes, depending on where you are. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to look for, as I'm looking through the comments, of anybody that's hearing reports or seeing anything. Connie can hear thunder in Rockfield already. Bethany hearing thunder in Bowling Green. Look how far away it is. Shelley thundering on Highway 185. Kim getting lightning now in Rockfield. Isn't that crazy? Charlotte hearing thunder and some lightning in BG. Charlotte, thank you. Troy, I can hear thunder in Bowling Green. Aaron, I'm currently at the Hopkins County Fairgrounds. We experienced some possible rotation heading towards the southeast of our position. There might be just a little, but so far I've not seen the kind of rotation that would produce a tornado. This is not really the kind of storm that's going to produce a tornado. Linda, heard thunder just now, Gherkin Bowling Springs Road. That's getting close to Bowling Green. It's just off in the distance. Debbie, hearing thunder off Fairview here in Bowling Green. Connie, thundering downtown Bowling Green. Kim, thundering in Rockfield. Roxanne, really bad lightning and thunder here in Greenville. Here is Kadijah. I hope I say that right. My friend in Madisonville says his power is out. All right. Sheila, 7 minutes ago, South Hill in Rochester, Butler County, thundering, and it's getting ready to hit. Ernie, people who live in mobile homes should not wait until it's on top of them, right? Right. This is why the warnings are put out way ahead of the storm so that it gives you time to get to some shelter. It's important. Lightning and thunder on Caneyville Road, Ruby May. Thank you. Myra, trees down, power out in Anton. So one of the things that as I noticed this um, spreading out, keep in mind, lots of fairs are going on. You need to, I'm hoping that everybody's paying attention where there is a, you know, fair going on this evening. That somebody's paying attention to this coming in. Chris says, hear thunder in a distance in the Grove, Smith's Grove. Jeffrey, rain, thunder, lightning in Central City. Now, I want to let's look at this and stop the motion, because one thing I'm noticing here is as this is spreading out, notice that it's got these little holes in it right here. That there's these little breaks. There's one and there's one. So as it's spreading out and thinning out, like I was talking to you about the biscuit dough analogy with the rolling pin, if you keep thinning it out and thinning it out, then it starts to tear, starts to fall apart. And some of this is beginning to fall apart, which is not a bad thing. So you've got all of this that's holding together Hartford, Beaver Dam, to Rochester, to Morgantown, to Caneyville. That's all holding together, but it's all kind of spreading east, southeast. So some of this may spread over into Brownsville. Then in the middle here, you've got a falling apart. And then you've got this second one that's holding together pretty well from Greenville to Crofton to just south of Dawson Springs. It's going to continue to push south toward Hopkinsville and Elkton. Maybe this edge of it could move in toward Lewisburg and Russellville. And then you've got this one that is really not, I don't think it's going to affect any of us here in the 270. It's going more west, southwest, maybe Eddyville, Princeton, Smithland, Paducah is going to get this one. So it's funny how this whole thing is just kind of splitting apart, falling apart. Some of it is even beginning to show signs of weakening just a little. I don't want to get ahead of it. Oh, excuse me. I don't want to get ahead of, this thing is weakening, not to worry about anything. No, we're not off the hook. Not off the hook at all. Let's get some more folks in here. Robbie, now hearing thunder in the distance in Alberton. Thunder being heard in Franklin. Matthew says thundering in the distance in Boyce. That's here in Warren County. Gary Renfro says wind, rain, and lightning now in Morgantown. Yes, that's what the radar is showing too. So, there has not been any, this is also something worth noting, is that there have been no new severe thunderstorm warnings for any of this. The east side of it that is coming through Hartford and Caneyville and Morgantown and Rochester. There's no warnings out for this. It's just a lot of wind and rain and lightning, but no warning. And I think it's because we're starting to see some of this spread out and have these little places where it's falling apart and thinning out. I'm just checking some of the warnings. So they're just putting out a strong thunderstorm notation for Butler and Ohio counties. Nothing. Flood advisory for Ohio County because of the heavy rain. And I think I just heard maybe some thunder in the distance here at the airport in Bowling Green. Now I am right here, right there where it says BWG. That's the Bowling Green, Warren County Regional Airport. And there is a lightning strike just south of Richardsville. So no wonder I just heard some thunder. It sounded like it was in the distance. So yes, if you're up in Richardsville, Hadley, Riverside, Woodbury is already getting some rain. Needmore, Dunbar, of course, Morgantown. You're definitely getting some thunder and already starting to get some rain, but it's moving in very quickly. I said it would be around 8 o'clock when it starts to move into Warren County and the Bowling Green area, and it's about on cue here. Caneyville, it still hasn't reached you yet, even though you're getting some lightning. It's right up on you. Brownsville, it's not that far. It's coming your way. The Mammoth Cave Park area, and eventually into Cave City, Park City, Glasgow, within the next 30 minutes or even less. Smiths Grove, Plum Springs. Big lightning. The lightning count has come down a little, to over 6,400 strikes, over 6,000 strikes. But it's still a lot. Still a ton of lightning, especially once you get up here. The west side of this is the worst of it. 8,600 strikes of lightning. Look at that. Now this is looking at it from the closest radar, which is the Paducah radar right there. I mean, wow. Considerable damage from this severe thunderstorm warning from Marion, Kentucky to Salem to Crane to Fredonia. This is as you head out toward the land between the lakes, and Princeton and Eddyville, Calvert City, Smithland. That's intense. This one that's headed south. This is all moving south. So Hopkinsville and Elkton about to get hit with that intense wall of wind and water. This one, let me get a better radar shot. That should come out of Nashville. There. That's fairly intense too, but notice none of this has any warning attached to it. A lot of wind and rain and lightning, but no warnings. Caneyville, it's just pretty much right on you. It's already gone through Rosine, and Rosine and Caneyville are both along US 62 and the Parkway. And on one side of this, you've got it coming in, and on the other, it's already going away. Beaver Dam, you're starting to clear up already. Morgantown, you're right in the thick of it. And Woodbury. Brownsville, it'll soon be your turn. It's definitely headed south and east on a trajectory toward Bowling Green. That's why some of you are hearing thunder in the distance if you're in Bowling Green. It's not that far away. Up toward Hadley, Riverside. Starting to see some of the clouds blowing off of the intense storms. Okay, some of you are saying some of the lightning is very intense. Greenville, according to Roxanne, Greenville is already beginning to clear. Lightning in Rockfield. Light rain in Cleveland. Jackie says thundering and lightning in Franklin off Hatter Road. Tim, lightning in Franklin. Chad says the lightning show is going crazy out here looking north from Bowling Green. Yeah. Matthew says lightning streaking across the sky in Boyce. That's here in Warren County. Ernie, distant thunder at Red Cross. That's in Barron County outside of Glasgow. Yes, Glasgow, you're going to be affected. Smiths Grove, any place that's east of that line that you see right there, that big blob, you're likely to get something out of it. Phyllis, Beaver Dam is starting to clear up. Gary, thunder and lightning in Mount Zion in Brownsville. Yep, Brownsville, you're going to be next. You're next in line. David, thunder in Caneyville. Sarah, thunder and lightning in Plum Springs. Cody says lots of rain and a nice light show in Jetson near Morgantown. That's in Butler County. Yes, Glasgow will be affected. All right. So, the tornado risk is low, very low. This is not a risk for tornadoes. This is all heavy wind and rain and lightning. So Litchfield, you're about to get it. You've been spared so far, but you can see it coming in. As this spreads east, it's in Caneyville now, but it's about to be in Litchfield. Brownsville, it's just off in the distance. Bowling Green, just a matter of time. Park City, Cave City area, Glasgow, maybe by 8:30 or so, a little bit after 8:30. Same for Scottsville, Fountain Run, Tompkinsville, Franklin, Russellville. It's all coming your way. Now, Russellville, you may actually be spared in between this big area to the west and this area that is just not, well, just where it's split, where some of this is split. You may actually not get some of the worst of it. which would be good, be very good if that happens. But right now, Butler County, down to Morgantown, very heavy rain over 6,000 lightning strikes within the last few minutes. It's an incredible light show. And when I don't talk, I'm checking some things here, and I'm also giving my voice a bit of a rest because I've done a lot of talking, and it's if I don't, then I'll wake up in the morning and get ready to do the weather, and I won't have a voice. So now, all of this is forecast to move south into Middle Tennessee here in the next few hours. You've got this whole thing like this. It is moving, and you just saw a new severe thunderstorm warning go up for right there in northern Middle Tennessee, right as I was drawing that arrow. And it's for Montgomery, Stewart, Cheatham, Robertson counties in Middle Tennessee until 9:15, severe thunderstorm warning. And again, the same hazards that I've talked about all evening are coming this way. Now, if this keeps moving as fast as it's been, they may decide to lift part of the watch, but for now, it still looks like it's there. There's still some fairly decent. Got these little cells up here on the Wabash River toward Vincennes, Indiana. And then you come on down into Indiana. There's Santa Claus, home of Holiday World, Boonville, Evansville, Henderson. Still getting these little clusters of strong thunderstorms. No severe weather warnings with any of those, but there's a flood advisory. This over here toward Marion and Princeton in western Kentucky near Paducah is to me still the strongest of these clusters. And it's moving west, southwest. This one's moving south right into Hopkinsville. This one's moving east. So it's like they're all split and they're going different directions. And that's what makes this really difficult to pin down. Well, that was a good clap of thunder I just heard here at the airport. That's why it's sometimes hard to nail this stuff down as to who's going to get what and when. But this is all moving really fast. And it's going to soon be over with, at least this part of it. So Tennessee is extending the severe thunderstorm watch till 1 a.m. But this still has a long way to go. And once it gets down into middle Tennessee, it's going to be, after 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Yeah. This is looking from the Hopkinsville Fort Campbell radar and really coming down Fairview. Elkton, not yet, but Hopkinsville, yes. Really heavy rain. Lots of lightning. But look, to the east, it's like Beechmont, Dunmore, Drakesboro, Lewisburg, coming down 431, Dunmore, Lewisburg, and now you're into Logan County, Russellville, Auburn, Adairsville. Nothing. Not much. Clouds, maybe a little bit of light rain, but that's about it. Bowling Green, we're beginning to see the really dark clouds. Some of you are reporting the lightning up in the northwestern corner of the county up toward Hadley, Riverside. But here's Woodbury and Morgantown getting a really strong part of that storm right now, and numerous lightning strikes, even back toward Rochester. Caneyville, hard rain, wind. Litchfield, almost. It's almost there. I mean, it's just lurking right outside your west. It's in the Millwood community, down to Caneyville, down to Shrewsbury, Sadler, Reedyville, Sunfish, now getting into Edmonson County, Bee Springs, Sweden, Lindsayville, Black Gold, Windyville. There's Brownsville. Not yet in Brownsville, but it's almost there. Hopkinsville, somebody's Boilermaker. Hopkinsville getting hit hard. Carolyn, power is out in the Rosine Olayton area. Ted, it's in Litchfield now. Okay. Yep. Lehman, heavy rain, and the bowling, all like rolling thunder here in Sweden. Yeah. Lightning bad beside Red Cross Elementary in Glasgow. Jean, Cleviot, getting lightning and thunder. Michelle, a whole lot of lightning in Auburn right now. Mm-hmm. Here's the big view. I mean, the lightning is what is just fascinating. The number of strikes that are happening out there is just incredible. Here is Jamie. Live on the Barren River Lake, and it's beginning to thunder and lightning there now. Well, get off the lake. Get off the lake. You don't need to be on the lake. If you're in a boat on the lake, get out. Get off. Get out. Not a good place to be. Terry, lightning by the Corvette Museum. Mm-hmm. Wanda, thunder on Cumberland Trace Road here in Bowling Green. Caitlin, what about at the lake? Is it headed towards Barren River Lake? Yes. It's already, you can already hear some thunder, as others have reported, around the Barren River Lake area. Connie, thunder and lightning in Brownsville. Karen says thundering at Nolin Lake. Mm-hmm. That's what that middle, well, the one to the east is the one that's coming through there. It takes time for me to go through. See, here's the thing. I don't have anybody else. It's just me doing this, and I'm trying to work the radar and go through all of your comments and get reports, monitoring the National Weather Service and what their bulletins and notifications and alerts that they're putting out. So if you hear me pause and not say anything, it's not that my feed froze or anything like that. It's just that I'm reading. Paula, thundering here in Belton in Muhlenberg County. Janice, thundering lightning in Annetta. Karen, lightning and thunder, Allen Warren County line, Cemetery Road. And I'm hearing it here at the airport. Kim says Oakland, thunder and lightning. What about power outages? There are some. We've had a few folks come into the comments here and say that different places have power out. Roxanne, you're doing awesome. Thank you. Carol, starting to rain on Highway 185, lots of lightning. Jimmy, lightning and the wind blowing real hard in Litchfield. Mm-hmm. Let me, I'm going to check one other thing here. Let me see if I can see some of the power outages. All right. So this is Warren Rural Electric, and you can go to their website and you can see this same thing that I'm showing you. But in case you're wondering, so here's Beaver Dam, Highway 62. This would be the Western Kentucky Parkway. You've got at least 1,000 people right there at Welch's Creek, Caneyville Road, from Brooklyn to Welch's Creek up to Nephis, at least 1,000 customers without power. And then you go over to Cromwell, and just kind of sporadic here and there. Ohio County, looks like near the airport. There's Rosine. There's right there from just north of Rosine to Olayton and up to Dundee and the Narrows, not the Narrows at Barren River Lake, but the Narrows as you're headed up toward Rough River Lake. 421 without power. And then a few more, about 30, 38 or so to the west without power. So those are the power outages. Here's some down here toward Morgantown. Eight people without power in Morgantown, and then 16 over along the Little Bend of the Green River over toward Dunbar. So those are your power outages. Here is Lance, a tree blocking 231 north of Woodbury. All right. Now, I will tell you that the expectation here is we're going to continue to see these thunderstorms pass through this evening, and then a little bit of a break. But the thing that you're seeing happen right here, right now, could also happen again tomorrow and maybe even Tuesday. There's just going to be this boundary that's set up north of us, and these storms are going to form off to the north and just keep coming and feeding into the really soupy air that sits over our area. And that's going to be the fuel for these thunderstorms just to develop and to just keep rolling. Here's a new severe thunderstorm warning now. This is for western Hart, southeastern Grayson, and northeastern Edmonson counties until 9 o'clock. Severe thunderstorms 6 miles south of Litchfield and near Brownsville, moving east at 30, 60 mile per hour wind gust, penny-sized hail. Included would be Brownsville, Windyville, Black Gold, excuse me, Cub Run, Lines Mill, Broadway, Broadford, Peonia, Pierman, and Snap. So that's for all of this. Moving toward and just north of Brownsville, this, if it keeps going, would move into Munfordville and Hart County soon, very soon. Litchfield's just now seeing the very beginning of all that mess. Now, some of this that's rolling toward Bowling Green is in part of that break area where it's kind of tearing off and going further east instead of south. So that's why we're getting lightning and some rain, but we're not getting the worst of the wind. Hopkinsville to Elkton getting some of the worst right now, and it's going to move south toward Clarksville and Guthrie. And you've got this way over here toward Lake Barkley and Grand Rivers, Eddyville. It's just going to keep on trucking that direction. Okay. I'm reading here in case you're wondering the silence, what that is. Um, yes. Roxanne says, son said his power is out in Graham, Kentucky. That's in Muhlenberg County. Hmm. Okay. Checking my sources here, and I'm just seeing what the Weather Service, the cell in southern Grayson, Edmonson County has the strongest core. And they're saying as that storm collapses, there could be a hefty downdraft, a wind surge with that. In other words, winds coming right down to the ground, straight down to the ground and pushing out. And if that happens, that would naturally cause some wind damage. Grayson County Emergency Management, a few bursts of small hail 4 miles north of Litchfield. Hmm. Sorry, I'm trying to fight off a yawn. It's getting late for me. Um, so the weather, and in checking with the National Weather Service, they're not. This is a good sign. They're not doing a lot. I don't see a whole lot of chatter. A whole lot of chatter with, uh, you know, big problems. Yes, there are some power outages. Yes, they're seeing, some very heavy rain, and the lightning, of course, is intense. But there's not that many warnings going on in and around the Bowling Green area, which I think is part of how that is all splitting. You got one side going east and one side going west and one going due south, and that is helping this thing maybe weaken just a little bit. I hope that's a trend that continues. As you can see it right there, it's continuing just to fall apart a little bit more. Okay, let me do something I don't normally do, but I've seen Ryan Hall do. Those of you that have watched Ryan Hall, uh, I am going to have to get something to drink. So I'm going to walk away for the moment. I'm going to walk away here for a moment, get something to drink, and come back. I'm just going to leave everything running right here. All right. And I will be right back. I'm going to mute my microphone. All right. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Oh, yeah, I needed that. Thank y'all for letting me take care of that. No new warnings. And from what I'm seeing here, this is the strongest of the storms right in here, north of Brownsville and moving east toward Munfordville, Hart County. New severe thunderstorm warning for Todd and Christian counties. So that's with the west side of that whole thing. All of that right there. Still looking pretty healthy. I mean, it's got even a gust front, outflow boundary. You see it right there. That's what that line is, outflow boundary. And what happens is when these storms collapse, they push wind outward and down to the ground pretty hard. And that's where you get your destructive winds, the kind that push over trees and then push over power lines. And yeah, you can see it. Look at that moving right there. There's your gust front or outflow boundary. And that is a cool rush of air that pushes out ahead of the rain. And so Adams, Clarksville, Big Rock, Dover, all these places are going to start to feel that rush of wind out ahead of the main line of storms when it comes through there. But here, this, look at that. I mean, it's just a big area of rain and a few lightning strikes. And that's it. And it's all because the strength of the storm split and pushed east. That's what you see, that thunderstorm warning there north of Brownsville. That's what you're looking at. And then the other side of it is pushing south there. And then the other part of it's pushing west. I mean, look at it. There it is. Back it up, push it, back it up, push it south. Then you come over and watch. I'll run that again real fast so you can see. Look how it just, look at it fall apart. Look at all that. I mean, it's just as it gets just about to Bowling Green, it just fizzles. Back it up. By the way, this is an hour. It goes back an hour, and then this is right here, right now. Back it up an hour, and there we go. This is the strongest part of the storm up north of Brownsville. It it is really starting to weaken now. Let me see if I can get a better look. Yeah. a little better. So I switched to the Louisville radar. Actually, the radar that is in Fort Knox, a little bit closer to these storms in northern Edmonson County and southern Grayson County and into Hart County with this severe thunderstorm warning. That cell really just, it intensified as it moved into Edmonson County. That's the strongest storm that's on the map right now. Karen, hitting hard at Nolan Lake sounded like hail hitting the windows. It's possible that there are some pieces of small hail. No, I'm just doing water. Some of you are asking. It's just water. Sometimes I do, Coke Zero, Diet Coke, or coffee. Just water this time. Now, I am curious about this. All of this, notice we have things that keep developing back here into Indiana behind all this. Watch all this right here. See that? Now, here's the thing. This is north of Vincennes. This, the jiggly line right there, is the Wabash River. What's happening is these storms are back building over the same area. What this is going to cause is flooding. I can almost guarantee you that within the next little bit, if this keeps developing like it is, there's going to be flood warnings or flash flood warnings that are going to go up for these counties way up here into parts of Illinois, Indiana, right on the Wabash River state line. You come further south, and there's still new storms that are taking hold right there around Jasper, Indiana. Ferdinand, Santa Claus, where Holiday World is, getting hit with some pretty good rain and storms there. Then you come on down. This is the Ohio River, Tell City, Indiana, Rockport, and you get into Owensboro, Hardensburg, and you see that right there. Just very heavy, heavy rain. Got to switch sources here. Heavy rain moving through northern Edmonson County into Hart County. So Munfordville, you're nice and dry. You're not even under the severe thunderstorm watch, but you might just go under a severe thunderstorm warning because of that cell that's headed your way from your west. It's almost headed due east, but a little southeast. Mammoth Cave Park getting some of the worst of the wind and the rain right now and the lightning. Then Cave City, Park City, Horse Cave. You're going to get in on some of this in a moment. Glasgow. Yep, you will too. Scottsville. Some of this is questionable, though, whether you're actually going to get in on the really rough stuff. But in a lot of ways, the worst of the weather is going further west. And now we have this new severe thunderstorm warning coming off of this old one. Severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Hart, southeastern Grayson, north central Barron, eastern Edmondson County until 9:15. Severe thunderstorm located 11 miles west of Munfordville, moving southeast at 30, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and penny-sized hail is possible. Locations include Munfordville, Horse Cave, Cave City, Park City, Rowlett's, Cub Run, Logston Valley, Lines Mill, Broad Ford, and Pierman. So in a way, this cell, even though it's moving east, and I just said it's moving a little southeast too. So the Weather Service sees that, and that's why they've built that box to, instead of going east, this new warning polygon is pushing and turning southeast. So yeah, from anywhere from Munfordville to Horse Cave to Cave City to Park City to Hardyville, you're right in line with this cell coming your way. A pretty hefty one at that. Uh, so Tim Skis, who um, does a lot of weather type stuff, he observations. So far, no severe wind in Brownsville, rain and frequent lightning. Um, Highest wind was 27 miles per hour via handheld wind meter. Thank you, Tim. Good report. Good report. Michelle says that 8:49, just 3 minutes ago, Griderville Road thundering and it's sticky hot outside. Ugh, it's been that way all day. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, now that, I don't know if you could hear that, but that was a big old tumbler here in Bowling Green, right here at the airport. Yeah, the intensity of the rain is starting to pick up now where I am. Okay. I am just checking a couple of other sources here to see what I can see that would be helpful to you guys. Oh, you heard that, didn't you? Did you hear that? That was close. Very close. Kapow. Now it's got the dog upstairs barking. So spooked him too. Poor thing. Patty says, my lights keep flickering on and off here in Barron County. I hope my electric don't go out. It's possible that it could. Sarah saw that lightning strike from the parking structure. It was loud. It was loud. Kirk, no power now in Casinger, just outside of Cub Run. It's up in Grayson. Now I'm hearing the rain hitting outside right now. So yeah, um, the intensity has picked up a little bit here in Bowling Green. You see it there. Make sure I've got, yeah. While it has weakened, you can see it weakening here as it moves in about an hour ago. And now some of this, that's that little cluster back there. Let me stop the motion. This intrigues me a little bit here. This is back toward Lewisburg, north of Auburn, west of Bowling Green. Heavy, heavy rain and a big, big cluster of lightning. this is going to be close to Gasper, Chandler's Chapel. This is in Logan County. And this would be the Butler County line as you go into southern Butler and over toward Quality. But that is just some really heavy rain. Oh, there we go. So when I look at some of the velocity images, there's nothing twisting. There's nothing like we saw on Tuesday where we could actually see rotation. We're not seeing that here tonight, which is good. This is all stuff that's just really heavy downpours, like that right there, outside of Mammoth Cave Park. Heavy downpours. No, nothing rotational. Yeah. That lightning, pretty stout. Pretty stout. Knee D. Lost power on L&N Turnpike and Horse Cave. Laura Lynn. Big boom. Yeah. Aquamarine. Oh my God, that lightning struck right over by the Greenwood Mall. Yeah, it's doing pretty good there. Suzanne says, I have my window open, waiting and listening here in my part of T-ville, Tompkinsville. I absolutely love a good storm. It is nice when you can do that. When you can just open the window, listen to it, then the rain comes. And then after that, it's just kind of a little bit of rolling thunder, just, you know, it's almost intoxicating. It's almost like, like I could just fall asleep listening to the thunder, you know. As long as it's not severe, as long as it's not really bad, it can kind of lull you to sleep. Checking messages. 5 minutes ago, Shell and Donnie leaving Glasgow, headed to Horse Cave in Montfordville, and the lightning is insane. Yes, it is. I'm just checking on something here. You hear me typing, that's what I'm doing. Let's see. Thunder, lightning. Scott, can you move the screen to the west? Yeah, sure. Does that help? I don't want to lose. I'm trying to keep Bowling Green and all in the view. How's that? Is that better? Carolyn, there's a large hay fire started by lightning in Olathe. That's Olathe's up in Ohio, near it's close to Hartford. Olathe is up there close to Hartford. So apparently she's gotten that report. Mm-hmm. All right. Check on the weather service. The trend is weakening, and they're going to drop one of the warnings for Western Hart and Southeastern Grayson and Northeastern Edmondson. Where did my warnings go? I think they went off for some reason. There they are. So they let one of these warnings go, but this one still there. Now Munfordville and Cave City, Horse Cave, are all in Park City getting the really heavy rain. There's all the lightning. Mm-mm-mm. Lots of it. But you can see with the lightning, I mean, just the absolute worst of this is moving down into Clarksville, Tennessee, Springfield, Dover, Murray, Kentucky, Cadiz, Hopkinsville. I mean, this is where it's really, really stout. Rain, wind, lightning. Okay. Now, I know you're not gonna like this, but I am going to have to give this up for tonight. I know. Look, I I, I wish I could just keep rolling, um, but I can't. I've got to go to bed. I've got to get up at 2:30 in the morning, and I may have to get up earlier than that if we get another run of storms uh, coming in. But I will tell you that over the next few days, well, tomorrow and maybe even Tuesday, we could have this same thing play out again. So if that's the case, then we're going to have several rounds of this. But right now, this is going sub severe. You're still going to get a lot of lightning, a lot of rain. But I'm going to have to, I'm out. I got to. If I had somebody to take over for me, I would let them do it. But for those of you that are worried, don't worry. This is just some really strong thunderstorms for a little bit longer, and then all this will begin to fade away. Okay. Some of you are saying that your video is frozen, and there's several. Well, that could be from the lightning, or it could be from your feed, because everything's working here. So anyway, I gotta go. I gotta run. You guys have a good night. I would use from here on out the News 40 weather app for the rest of the night. If you feel like you need to look at something, and I think Micah is at the station and he's doing some Facebook updates, so you can watch him do that. Okay. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Be safe this evening, and I will see you in the morning on News 40 Sunrise at 6 a.m. Thanks for watching.